Well, that was last night's campsite. Didn't get a picture of camp. Might have had a dead tree above me, but came out alive somehow. So anyway, day 21 today. Getting out before 7. Erwin, Tennessee, Nolotucky River. Day 21. Reach the bottom. Just finished running errands on the bike in Erwin errands. I ate a hibachi at 2 o'clock and a cheeseburger at 4:30. Headed out day 22. Coming across the river. I just met a guy named Kristian from England. He's doing he's warming up for a record attempt on the AT FKT. So he'll be starting, I think, on May 25th. So I'll take a picture of him and I'll post that with the video here in a second after this. But maybe he'll pass me. I forgot to ask him if he's going north or south. Assume he's going north, but maybe I'll see him pass me in a few weeks. So yeah, I may have mentioned, but I mailed back my second pair of gloves. Fairly convinced it's not going to get cold again if I do put my hands in my pockets. Some extra socks and camera lens. Might have already mentioned that. Anyway, part of the errands I did yesterday. I'm wondering if I'll hit a trail magic today. A few miles, mile 8. Got a road crossing somewhere here. If I catch up with the bubble, maybe I'll start seeing more of that. Oh, this peak is called Beauty Spot. So, which means it probably is flat on top and has view. which some peaks have in common. We're not quite there yet. We'll see what the view is in a second. Okay. That was the false summit. Come down a little bit. Main peak is just a little bit further up. It's warm today. I could use some water. Probably won't see a water stop until after I cross this peak, and then one more peak and then go down. So I have to ration water until then. So one really tall mountain right over here. I'm not sure what that is. That's the direction I came from. There's some towns way down there in the valley. So this is day 23. Getting off at 7:30 this morning. Ended up doing 17 miles last night. My feet were really hurting yesterday. I think one of my right foot, on the top of my foot, is swollen a little bit, and so the water source right near the camp was ice cold, so I soaked my feet there a couple times. I think that is very painful, but it should help a little bit. Maybe I'll do that if I find another creek today and take it a little slower. But I did stop early yesterday just because my feet hurt. That was a cherry campsite, or cherry ridge or something, cherry something shelter last night. Pretty flat, and I slept pretty good. So it's supposed to be another non-rain day, so it should be another warm day. There was one point yesterday where it was really hot. At least it felt hot. And it really sucks the energy out of you. The rainy days are actually pretty cool and easy to hike in. So it's supposed to start raining, I think, tomorrow. So today is Wednesday, I think. Another road crossing this morning, about 8:45. So, doing some math in my head. I hit 361 yesterday. Goals to hit Harper's Ferry at 10:59, which is called 1060. So if I just 60 days off, if I divide that, do a third, that's 333 plus 20, 353. So that's 353 I've got to do every 20 days to basically get there exactly with no margin. So on day 20, I was coming into Johnny's hostel at 344, Uncle Johnny's hostel. And so actually on day 21, I hit 10 miles later, I basically hit the third of the way. So I'm effectively a day behind schedule. So I should be able to make up some time in Virginia, though, from what I hear. Not as rigorous as the Smoky Mountain National Park in Georgia and the stuff I'm sort of in now, but it's getting a little more gentle. Some of these ridge tops are a little flatter, so it should start speeding up soon. We'll see. I don't want to speak out loud, but anyway, so that's the mileage plan. We'll see how that works out, and keep fingers crossed. That's basically 3 oak trees kind of growing out together. Pretty wild. Actually, wouldn't count that one as the 4th one, but 3 of the 4 are still living. Pretty wild. I think I'm coming from this way, like that direction. There's a bald way over there. Might have been. Climbing up Roan Mountain right now. So, not sure how far I am from the top. And 5,900 feet. I think it's 6,500 feet. My watch is right. But it's nice and cool though. Makes it easy to go pretty fast. It's warmer down below. But right now it's pretty good. Oh, I just came up at Carvers Gap. There's the trail I came out of. Oh, there's the trail going across. A picture of this sign up here. Alright, that's the trail I just came from. That's Roan Mountain. Came down that, and that's some other mountains. We're not going that way. That's to the east, I think. Going over these balds. There's like 3 balds in a row this way, and then I can drop down and get some water. And almost 2 miles. Just past Jane's Bald after Carvers Gap. I'm at 20 miles right now, and probably got to go over this other ridge before I can find a campsite. I think there's one. Oh, it was 3 miles from Carvers Gap, so it's probably another 1.5 miles, maybe. Let's see. There's a bunny on the trail right there. What are you doing, bunny? Bye, bunny. Well, here's tent set up. This was probably the most awkward setup I've had yet with this silly tent. Hard to see it, but The guy lines are very particular about how they like to get set up. And where it's sitting is mostly flat, but then it slopes away, makes it a little difficult. And this end is like high, other side's low. It's very awkward, but it's taut, so at least it should work for tonight. It's a non-symmetrical tent, which makes it probably half the problem. So anyway, bear bags. This was the longest tent setup, but this was the quickest bear bag setup. Took about 3 minutes or less to do that. So anyway, in this campsite, remote site on a ridge by myself, I think there's a shelter that's probably only like 2 miles or a mile further, so most people have probably went to that. But I'd rather just be these sites are a little cleaner if you're doing tents. The tent sites at the shelters are just typically muddy, more muddy than this, which is a little muddy, but not as bad as some. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. Broke down camp. 8 o'clock. Weather forecast is not supposed to be rain until 3 o'clock, and it's only like 30% then. So it did rain last night. Had some thunder in the distance. And rain, gosh, less than an hour. So trails aren't too messy this morning, really. Not yet. That I've noticed. We'll see. The grass isn't terribly wet, which is where your shoes get wet. The grass is soaked, you get wet feet pretty quick. But actually some sun coming through. When the birds are chirping, it means it's not raining. They get quiet when it starts to rain. So that's a good sign. So the last mountain was called Little Hump. This is Big Hump. So you can see the trail. And then the trail is so small you can't see it. There's a tiny tree on top. So I guarantee you we're going over the top of that. Still climbing. There's that little ridge gap I was just on a second ago. Got some clouds coming in, so I'm trying to scoot over pretty quick. I don't hear any thunder anywhere, so probably okay. Okay, on top of Hump Mountain. It's about what time is it? 11:15. Nice clouds rolling across the gap there. So scoot across the top of this thing. Get out of here in case a storm happens. So.